Hello, you're watching Euronews now. Let's take a look at the latest headlines. European leaders scramble to contain the record-breaking spread of the Omicron variant as the World Health Organization declares an 11% weekly increase in global COVID cases. Russia doubles down on dissolving its iconic NGO Memorial by ordering the closure of its Human Rights Center. And a discovery that was 3,500 years in the making. We talked to the scientist who came face to face with an Egyptian pharaoh with the help of some digital technology.
France has reported a record number of new COVID-19 cases in a 24-hour period, almost 180,000, the highest ever number in Europe. New measures are scheduled to come into effect next week, including capacity limits on big events and requiring seating at concerts and in bars. However, no drastic restrictions were imposed before New Year's Eve.
No single measures will resolve this issue. We are facing the unknown with these variants, and I think that the government is trying to do its best while it is also trying to preserve individual liberties.
Greece also registered a record number of cases, soaring to over 21,000, the first time it's been a 5-digit number. The regions of Attica and Thessaloniki were particularly badly hit. Portugal had a similar story, but the number of hospitalizations, like in other European countries, remains comparatively low. About 87% of its population have been vaccinated, which is one of the world's highest rates. Meanwhile, Poland is bucking the trend. Cases there have recently fallen by 30%, and therefore no further restrictions are in the pipeline.
Today we can see that despite the growing risk of infection with the Omicron variant, the number of new cases in Poland hasn't started to increase after Christmas. So for today, I emphasize, for today we do not plan to introduce new COVID restrictions this week.
And in Belgium, the highest administrative court cancelled a move to close entertainment venues, saying the government hadn't presented enough evidence. Bird flu has taken hold in the Litoměřice region of the Czech Republic, leading to 80,000 hens being slaughtered. 1 million eggs will also be destroyed. The economic loss is estimated at over 800,000 euros, in a devastating blow for the industry there.
This is, I think, the largest outbreak that's actually arisen in the country, as there were originally around 200,000 animals intended to be put down.
Another outbreak was detected in the Hodonín region. A pheasant farm has reported the mass death of around 1,000 birds there. Over the border in Slovenia, a swan has died of the virus. There's also an outbreak at a small farm in the southeast of the country, although authorities say it's under control. In yet another blow for civil society in Russia, a court orders the closure of a Memorial Human Rights Center just one day after mandating the same measure for the iconic NGO's parent structure, accusing it of operating as a foreign agent. After deliberations, the court said that it decided to grant the request to dissolve the rights organization and related entities. A vigil was held yesterday after the decision to shutter Memorial's umbrella organization. The group fought to expose the crimes of Russia's Soviet past, including the system of mass internment camps known as the gulags, which saw 20 million people pass through their gates during former leader Joseph Stalin's tenure.
Of course, this will have far-reaching consequences for the Russian civil society, because it is a clear signal that further repressions will go on. Memorial is like a litmus test here, but also it is a very clear signal to the international community. And citizens of other countries should be concerned.
Russia is a country rich in culture and diversity. Its history is both glorious and terrifying. Memorial was founded in 1989 at the end of the Soviet era. To date, it's Russia's oldest human rights organization. Its possible permanent closure may therefore presage a new era. As Joe Biden enjoys time with his family, the prospect of war may seem a million miles away. The US leader said he'll talk to his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin this week and isn't ruling out a meeting in person on January the 10th, when talks are planned between the two powers. At the UN, Russia's deputy envoy emphasized the importance of the meeting.
I don't think that our colleagues will get away with some blah, blah, blah thing, as Greta Thunberg puts it. So we really want something serious this time. It's not an ultimatum. It was also underlined several times by my foreign minister and my president. It's a constructive proposal, but it's the proposal that works for everybody and that is in the interest of everybody.
Tensions have been constantly rising between the powers. This week, Russia held military drills on its western border, where a massive troop buildup has led to concerns that Mr. Putin plans to invade Ukraine. While Moscow denies this, it says that it will have to take adequate military technical measures if the West continues its aggressive course on the threshold of our home. All eyes are now set for the meeting on January the 10th.
A total of 116 cities are under the state of emergency in the state of Bahia due to heavy rains that have been pounding the northeast of Brazil since the end of November. In at least 50 cities of Bahia, water surged into homes and businesses, and people were forced to abandon their belongings. Official data from the state government say more than 34,000 people have been made homeless. Since the beginning of the month, there have been a total of 21 deaths and 358 people injured. Cities in at least 5 other states of Brazil's north and southeast have also been flooded in recent days. The federal government has authorised emergency spending totalling €12.5 million for Bahia alone.
Out of the box and back in time to the 1880s. Conservators open up a time capsule and examine its contents, found after a statue plinth of the Confederate General Robert E. Lee was dismantled in the US city of Richmond, Virginia. In an earlier search, the box had proved to be elusive, and when found, many of its contents were waterlogged.
I think that we haven't had a chance to even look at these things. We were treating them as artifacts, and we aren't going to have a chance to process this anytime soon. Right now, we're just trying to stabilize them, and then we'll be able to go back and figure out what we have.
The team were able to identify many items immediately, such as these carved artifacts and this Bible. Several other books were also found. A rare photo of America's Civil War president, Abraham Lincoln, was also thought to be in the capsule, although wasn't found. Instead, the box contained this newspaper with what looks like a figure grieving over the grave of the assassinated leader. The Lee monument where the capsule was found was removed in September as part of an effort to take down Confederate symbols in public places.
You're watching Euronews now. We'll be back with more in just a moment.